UN admission of Palestine as a country shows what a defunct organization it is. The point is not how evil the Palestinians are. We know all that. But it's how ridiculous the United Nations General Assembly is as an entity that should mean anything to anybody under any circumstances. It's 193 members. 60% of them are not democracies, not free. So who do their votes represent? When the Russian delegate sticks up his hand, he's just representing Vladimir Putin's opinion. And when the Chinese delegate sticks up his, he's just representing the opinion of 8 or 10 guys on the Politburo. When the U.S. delegate sticks up her hand, she's representing the expressed will of a democracy of 300 million people. Those should not be treated equally. And 60% of the votes cast in that General Assembly are by autocracies, dictatorships, kingdoms, and such. And obviously they don't value Israel as a democracy. They're afraid of it because they're afraid of democracy. And then you get to the issue of corruption. Transparency International rates the countries of the world on their corruption. And 2/3 of the members of the United Nations are rated as corrupt, 1/2 as very corrupt. So they're in the UN largely to steal money. The deal they make is that they give the Arabs their votes on Israel, and they give the environmentalists their votes on climate change, and in return, they get booty in the form of mandatory foreign aid directed toward them by the United Nations. And then finally, the majority, every little country, every microscopic country has one vote in the UN, the exact equal of the United States, a travesty of one man, one vote. So 96 countries, a majority of the General Assembly, have populations smaller than 5 million people. Combined, their population is 240 million, less than that of the United States. Here's a list of some of the countries that have one full vote. Nauru has 10,000 residents. San Marino has 32,000. Monaco has 33,000. Andorra has 84,000. Tonga has 104,000. St. Lucia has 174,000. These are like answers to a trivia contest, and yet they all have the same one vote that we do. We talk about all this in Here Come the Black Helicopters. The incredible dysfunctionality of the United Nations. Now, that is not to say the UN Security Council. That is a viable, important organization. Because when the great powers can agree, which they sometimes can, and negotiate, which is a healthy process, they can speak authoritatively and effectively for the world. But that's only because you have as permanent members the 5 major powers. And if you put in Tonga and Monaco and all those countries and gave them an equal voice, that wouldn't work either. So what the United States should do is to say we are going to insist on fundamental reforms in the UN. First of all, voting by democracies, and secondly, voting based on one man, one vote among democracies. And if you don't make those changes, which they won't, we're going to pull out and we're going to create a separate international organization. I would recommend we stay in the Security Council and we continue that format. But this General Assembly is an absolute total travesty to think that they're vested with any kind of moral or political authority. So, thanks for watching.